Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A car stolen, shots fired, a girl found dead. Tonight we're learning about the 16-year-old killed just around the corner from her home, her family, and where San Antonio police are in this investigation.
Also, several sheriff departments are working human smuggling cases tonight, and one of those includes a 15-year-old suspect. Why deputies say they shot at that teen, coming up.
And words in black and white meant to calm fans who love the silver and black. The Holt family weighs in on worries the Spurs may leave town, coming up. But first, we begin with a story that has many of you reacting on KSAT.com. We're learning more tonight about the 16-year-old killed overnight.
That's right. She was shot near her home on Warhorse Drive near Five Palms in the South Side. And tonight, her family wants justice. They spoke with the night team's Patty Santos.
She just turned 16 April 29th.
Navia Martinez, described as a sweet, fun-loving sister to 10 siblings. Her aunt tells me she was smart and wanted to own her own business someday.
She loved working with her dad. She liked to do construction and stuff like that. So she was a good girl.
At midnight, Martinez was found shot in the backseat of a stolen car just around the corner from her house. Police at the scene were tight-lipped about the motive. The family also couldn't say much either, only asking for justice.
Just turn yourself in. I mean, she was just a child.
On Tuesday, friends and family were stopping by, leaving flowers and balloons, building a memorial for her.
We all know, and that she knows that she was loved and cared for, because she had a lot of people that loved and cared her.
And police brought 2 people here to the station as potential witnesses to talk to. And police say while her body was found on Warhorse, they believe that the actual shooting happened a few blocks away. Stephania?
Just 16 years old. Thank you, Patty. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says patrol deputies continuously come across suspects with stolen and altered weapons. It's part of a letter that he sent to the Bexar County Commissioner's Court requesting more deputies and investigators for the sheriff's office. He says the extra staff needed as he expects crime to rise in the summer months. Now, some people also have the ability to create guns with the help of a computer. Those are called ghost guns.
And the Biden administration is announcing plans to rein in ghost guns to cut down on violent crime. The night team's Lee Waldman spoke with an agent from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and she shows us what they're seeing across their country and in the Alamo City.
A privately made firearm, which is a PMF, is often called a ghost gun because it's not marked with a serial number.
The lack of serial numbers makes it hard for law enforcement to trace if that gun was used in a crime, which is why Melissa Garcia with ATF says they're gearing up to implement changes.
It will require markings, including a serial number, so that their firearms can be traced if recovered by law enforcement. And it also requires a background check to be completed before a partially completed firearm or firearms kits can be sold.
According to data from San Antonio Police, there have been 62 homicides so far this year. That's up from 42 this time last year. National data from ATF shows between January 2016 and December 2021, 45,000 reports of suspected ghost guns were recovered by law enforcement. 692 were used in homicides or robberies. Here in San Antonio, exact numbers are hard to get, but trends are clear.
There's definitely been an increase.
Lone Star Handgun President Josh Felker doesn't think this rule change is the answer in reducing violent crime.
Criminals, all of a sudden, they can't get or manufacture their own gun in the house or steal it from somebody else. There's millions and millions and millions of guns out there.
He explained even a gun with a serial number can be made untraceable by filing it off. Felker says they conduct background checks, but says it's difficult when dealing with a stolen firearm.
If I were to be able to go quickly online and go, hey, this gun was stolen, you're a criminal or you're dealing with a stolen firearm. No, I buy it. We hope that it's not stolen.
The rule change for ghost guns doesn't go into effect until August. Senator Ted Cruz and 21 others introduced a Congressional Review Act joint resolution of disapproval to try and block it. Live downtown, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee. From guns on the street to guns in the classroom, we break down the program that will allow some staff to carry concealed weapons on Lavernia ISD campuses. We told you about the Guardian program last night. You can also take a look at the requirements for that program right now on KSAT.com.
New developments when it comes to the coronavirus right here at home. Our positivity rate has continued to rise. It was at 1.2% in late March, and today we saw last week's positivity rate. Metro Health is saying that it's at 6.4%, so significantly higher. Now, when it comes to our risk, Metro Health reports that case rates and hospitalizations remain low. It describes the risk level as low, but worsening. Now, we have 64 COVID-19 patients in the hospital, 19 of them in the intensive care unit, and 11 of them on ventilators. No new deaths were reported in the last 7 days.
And new tonight, it's a drug that kills. The first National Fentanyl Awareness Day now launched. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration hopes it will increase awareness and decrease demand for what it calls the single deadliest drug threat to our nation. Just this week, Border Patrol agents seized more than $76,000 worth of what's believed to be fentanyl. An amount smaller than the tip of a pencil is all it takes to become deadly. DEA lab testing shows about 40% of the drugs on the street laced with fentanyl contain that deadly amount.
Now for a look at your headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. There's a contagious stomach bug going around. The associate medical director at University Health's Petty Express Clinic says that norovirus cases are spiking. That's usually something that happens in the wintertime. But you see this graph right here? It shows the virus is making an unusual round this spring. Public Charter District Jubilee Academies reported a staff member and one student had the norovirus. Both of them are in the hospital. And here's the thing. Yes, most of us are used to using hand sanitizer, but in this case, alcohol doesn't kill the norovirus. So the best thing to do is just go old school. Rely on good old soap and water. And a man killed in the crossfire. Police are hoping that surveillance video will help find the people involved in a shootout between two cars and several people. Investigators say that gun battle ended outside the Perfect Score Sports Cantina, which is on Northwest Loop 410. Officers say that a man in his 30s tried to take cover but was shot and killed. Investigators have not yet revealed his identity, and as for everyone at the bar, they're all okay. More hurdles for an area school district. First, voters rejected 2 bonds for Medina Valley ISD, and now the lone finalist for the superintendent of that district backing out. In a letter, the Board of Trustees says that Dr. Samuel Nix has withdrawn his name from consideration, so the search now has to go on. The district, is working to figure out the next steps. This is coming just days after voters turned down 2 bonds that would have helped build several new schools and a new stadium. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Another warm day today, well above average in terms of the high temperature. We made it up to 96 degrees. That's 11 degrees above average and just 2 degrees shy of the record today. And we did make it to 100 in Cotulla briefly. Otherwise, we were in the 90s everywhere else. We do have a few thunderstorms to talk about that are still lingering in parts of our area. We'll get to those with a close look at radar, see how much rain they dropped. Not here in San Antonio, but elsewhere. And total lunar eclipse is coming up in the days ahead. I'll help you plan that out straight ahead.
Finally, some answers. The Spurs owner responds to concerns that the silver and black may make Austin their new home. We'll talk about the letter that was released and how San Antonio's mayor is responding. That's coming up in sports.
And plus, gas prices reaching a new high in San Antonio. What AAA has to say about this new record.
Also, a human smuggling case in Uvalde ends in several arrests. Plus, investigators reveal that a 15-year-old may be involved in another case in a neighboring county. It's next on the Nightbeat.
He's not even old enough to legally drive. A 15-year-old accused in a human smuggling operation. Investigators say he was shot and is now in a hospital in San Antonio. This happened in Kinney County yesterday. The sheriff there says the teen driving a car with suspected migrants when deputies and DPS troopers tried to pull him over. Sheriff Brad Coe says that led to a chase. Investigators say the teen then tried to run over a deputy. That's when they shot him. 3 migrants turned over to Border Patrol. The Texas Rangers have taken over this case. That teenager remains hospitalized tonight. In neighboring Uvalde County, deputies uncovered a human smuggling case there as well. This one involved three carloads of people and a vehicle stolen from San Antonio. Deputies posted these pictures on their social media site. They say the people involved are from Cuba and Honduras. Deputies say the case happened less than 24 hours from a previous human smuggling investigation.
New details now in that inmate escape out of Alabama. The inmate and the corrections officer accused of helping him had a Cadillac filled with cash, weapons, and wigs. Inmate Casey White says that they planned to get into a shootout with police, but then they crashed. New images show that dramatic chase after authorities tracked down White and the corrections officer. Police eventually T-boned White's car, so it flipped into a ditch. Evansville police released video capturing the moment that they took Casey White into custody. The corrections officer took her own life.
I think Vicki White was probably dreading having to come back and face her family and friends after what she'd done.
Yeah, now look at this. Authorities say the pair were armed with an arsenal of guns. The Nationwide Manhunt, there you go. The Nationwide Manhunt lasted 11 days. Authorities say the corrections officer lied to get Casey into her patrol car and help him escape prison.
Gas prices hitting a new record in San Antonio. We just hit a record in March. Tonight, AAA says we hit another one with the average price of gas at $3.99 a gallon. We spoke with AAA today with the summer season approaching. Their spokesperson says they're watching the market closely.
And then looking ahead to the summer travel season, there's a lot of pent-up demand out there for travel. So folks are going to be really hitting the road, and it looks like the oil and fuel markets are anticipating that, and therefore we're seeing prices on the rise.
So why the sudden surge? Analysts say it's supply and demand as nations stop buying Russian oil. Supplies tighten, and just as spring demand is booming.
Now, this is incredible. It's really the end of an era. The device that helped Apple change the entire music industry will soon be a distant memory. Today, the tech giant announced that it was discontinuing the iPod.
Aww.
Yeah, the digital music player was first introduced back on October 23rd of 2001. It was, at the time, the first portable MP3 player that could hold up to 1,000 songs. And after several upgrades, we know what happened, but then, it just got less popular once smartphones took over. Now Apple says that its newest iPod Touch is going to be the final iteration of that device. I know that I haven't had one since 2006 when I graduated college.
I had an iPod Nano, and a Shuffle.
Wow.
But all of them before 2006, probably.
Do they still work, by the way? Have you tried using them?
I'm not sure where they're at. They're in the electronics drawer. Whatever that is.
The junk drawer.
The junk drawer.
With
All
the
right.
rest of the stuff.
Let's check out the Pearl tonight. How about 80 degrees out there, cooling off quite nicely as we look over the main walking area at the Old Pearl Brewery.
Yeah, and a nice evening for it around here. I mean, warm and a bit humid, but what do you expect as we get into May? The afternoon temperatures and even morning temperatures have been above average, and we have had a few thunderstorms. Take a look at the radar. This is the most recent 1-hour loop, and you see the activity out there confined to some locations far west of San Antonio. Nothing even close to San Antonio, and we're not expecting it to even get near us. This is all going to stay to the west and be held just outside of our area. You take a look at the last hour, and most of it is basically from Brackettville up to Rock Springs and now moving into the Junction area. A lot of lightning and thunder and even some lightning strikes out ahead of it where we're not getting the rainfall in western Kerr County and parts of even almost parts of Bandera County. That's where we have some of the action, even just north of Lakey, a few lightning strikes. But this is the heaviest of the rainfall that's out there at the moment. And there's some showers farther to the south, but really there's not much to them. And most of this action is coming to an end with the exception of this. Now, some of this was severe earlier, but right now, nothing severe associated with it. You look, a lot of lightning, and then the 12-hour rainfall totals, not bad for some drought-stricken parts of Edwards County and even Valverde County. Not to mention Kinney County. The yellow here, that's where we have some of the highest accumulations, and we can sample this. So Rock Springs here, about 0.9 inches within the city of Rock Springs, 1.8 to even 2.1 inches for some ranch land. That's only 8 miles south of Rock Springs. So not bad. We will take it. But that's the activity that we have out there. And it's all going to stay west of San Antonio and even come to an end here probably within the next couple of hours. Otherwise, you look, the rest of us remain dry. No rainfall for the rest of us out there. And I wish I had a better picture in terms of rain, but unfortunately, odds are still very slim in the 7-day forecast. 80 degrees right now. We're going to talk temperatures. Dew point of 68. Dew points are up. We feel the humidity out there. We've been near 70 degrees most of the day, so we feel that mugginess in the air. And we're at the basically muggy to oppressive level. I do foresee a few changes in our humidity during the afternoons in the days ahead. Not so much tomorrow, but by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on into early next week, just during the afternoon hours, say between about 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., right? Roughly, give or take. We'll see a little drop in the humidity that will alleviate the heat index values a little bit. Let's look at temperatures. Del Rio, a rain-cooled 79 degrees. So often one of the warmest temperatures on the map. Not so much right now. Rock Springs at 68 degrees with the rain-cooled air. 81 Pleasanton, 79 New Braunfels, 80 degrees in Helotes, and Converse now at 77. Tomorrow morning, most of us in the lower 70s, but as we get up into the hill country, some upper 60s. By tomorrow afternoon, we just do this pretty much all over again. 97, Port SA, SeaWorld, Alamo Ranch area, even 95 around Alamo Heights and parts of Stone Oak about 94, 95. Poteet 97 degrees, Helotes 92. But here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We will have the low clouds in the morning. It'll look like it could rain. It's not going to. Maybe a drop here and there, a quick sprinkle, but mainly just the low clouds, high humidity, low to mid 70s in the morning. By the noon hour, we clear out 87 and then make it up to 95 degrees around town, especially downtown and northward will be in the mid 90s. A lot of sunshine in the afternoon and a bit of a breeze. It's just a repetitive forecast all the way through the weekend. We do turn up temperatures a few degrees by Sunday and Monday, and actually 96, 97, 98 Saturday through Monday. That's record challenging territory. I want to point out the total lunar eclipse Sunday night should be good viewing for us. We reach totality at 10:29 p.m. all the way to 11:54 p.m. I think we could have some high thin clouds overhead, but that would probably be it. That's the way it looks right now. Remember, lunar eclipse, moon passes between this, or the earth passes between the sun and the moon and casts its shadow on the moon. So you get that red dark glow to the moon. That's Sunday night. I'll tell you more in the days ahead and keep reminding you.
Thank you, Adam.
Oh, wait, hey, I'm coming with you.
It's out of control. There we go.
All right, love that swing. All right, so things have been a little tense, right, for Spurs fans because they're like, is that team leaving? Are they going to Austin? Well, Peter J. Holt did write a letter.
He did today.
The mayor
and remember,
and the county.
This happened last week.
Yes.
It was last Tuesday, in fact, when the commissioners voted a request down to just one season of games to be played outside of the AT&T Center. Now we're getting the mayor's reaction and Judge Wolf's reaction as well to Peter Holt's letter today, and a blockbuster broadcaster contract coming up. Spurs have released a letter from Spurs Sports and Entertainment managing partner Peter J. Holt to try and calm the concerns of Spurs fans. And the ownership is exploring the possibility of moving the NBA franchise out of San Antonio. Those concerns are twofold. One, with the sale of over 30% of ownership of the team to outside investors over the last year that includes billionaire Michael Dell of Austin, and more recently, in fact, last Tuesday, where the Spurs requested to play as many as 8 home games away from the AT&T Center over the next 2 seasons. That included 4 in Austin and the brand new UT Moody Center that opened last month. Here's what the letter said in part. I love you. I love this city, a big city with a casual small town feel and a great basketball team. I want to reassure you that the Spurs are in San Antonio to stay. My family became involved in the Spurs in the 90s because there was a real threat that the team would be moved. We would not let that happen then. We will not let that happen now. There are no Spurs without the city and the people of San Antonio. Your team, our team, together we are the silver and black. Spurs fans, we are here to stay. Por vida. Now remember, in a vote last Tuesday, Commissioners Court only allowed 4 games to be played outside of the AT&T Center next season. That will include 2 in Austin, 1 in Mexico, and 1 in the Alamo Dome as part of the Spurs' 50th anniversary celebration. The overall reason the Spurs wanted those 8 home games away from the AT&T Center is to expand their fan base. Here is the Judge Nelson Wolff and Mayor Ron Nirenberg's reaction to the letter. Peter J. Holt's heartfelt statement today could not have been said any better and should put speculation about the San Antonio Spurs' plans to rest. We have full confidence that the Spurs will stay in San Antonio for decades to come. A touching moment occurred during the Suns' practice today before their Game 5 tonight against the Mavs. Monty Williams' children surprised him with a Red Auerbach Trophy for being named the NBA's Coach of the Year. It comes after the former Spurs player, assistant coach, and executive led the Spurs, should say the Suns, to a franchise record 64 wins this season. You won't find a better man. Now to tonight's action on the court. Game 5 between the Heat and the Sixers, all tied at 2 apiece in Miami. Phillies All-Star Joel Embiid playing with a mask to protect a broken right eye socket, but is not going to protect against this. Embiid going for the rebound when Dwayne Dedmon swipes down on the ball, smashing it into Embiid's eye. He falls to the court in pain. Amazingly, he would continue to play. The Heat pull away in the second. P.J. Tucker in the corner for the 3 puts Miami up 18. They continue to pile on in the third. Tucker on the drive puts it off the backboard, but Jimmy Butler slams it down. Butler with 23. Miami had 7 players in double figures, and they won 20-85 win. Now lead that series 3-2.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Another day, another release of part of the 2022 NFL season to come. Today, it's Christmas Day. CBS announcing the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams will host Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos at 3:30 p.m. San Antonio time on Christmas Day. This coming off Sean McVay becoming the youngest coach in NFL history at 36 to win the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And after the Broncos came up with the biggest off-season acquisition on the field by grabbing Wilson, who wants to help Denver in its 6-year playoff drought. And when 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady finally decides to hang up his cleats, he has a very nice deal waiting for him as a broadcaster. After losing both Troy Aikman and Joe Buck to ESPN's Monday Night Football, Fox believes they have made up for that by inking Brady to a 10-year deal. And according to the New York Post, it's worth $375 million. That's the biggest payday in sports broadcasting history. That averages out to $37.5 million a year, more than double what both Troy Aikman and Tony Romo make in a single season. UT has a choice. Next. One of the biggest offseason moves by UT head football coach Steve Sarkisian was to hire former Dallas Cowboys running back Rashard Choice to help improve the Longhorns' rushing attack. Choice played 4 seasons with the Cowboys after Dallas made him the 4th-round pick in 2008 NFL Draft before playing for the Washington Commanders, Bills, and Colts. He has spent the last 3 seasons as a running backs coach at his alma mater, Georgia Tech, before he was hired by Sark, and is also one heck of a recruiter. During his appearance at the San Antonio Quarterback Club on Monday, Sark was asked what Choice will bring to the 40 acres.
I think he's got some really good roots in Texas now with his time with the Cowboys, his time coaching high school football in the state of Texas, and his time coaching at North Texas. So the reality of it is I think he's always held the University of Texas in high regard, and he's been a great addition. I mean, this guy is a great coach, great mentor, unbelievable energy, and we're lucky to have him.
After finishing 5-7 in his first season, Sark looking to turn the program around, opening the 2022 season at home against Louisiana Monroe. And after that, how about Alabama? And registration is now underway for the first annual Lieutenant Colonel Hector Villarreal Memorial Golf Tournament on May the 23rd at Silverhorn. Player check-in starts at 6:30 in the morning. Shotgun Start featuring the Florida Scramble will begin at 7:45 a.m. with an award ceremony to follow. We will leave it up a bit longer here so you can capture that QR code at the top right. This will benefit the San Antonio Coalition for Veterans and Families. Look forward to seeing you there on the 23rd of this month.
The only advantage for the Longhorns playing Alabama second is at least Sark is familiar with Alabama.
Yeah, exactly, because he worked with Nick Saban for 3 seasons. You're right.
Yeah.
We're back in 2 minutes.
So the guy. All right, before we go, lots of chopping, sawing, basic lumberjacking going on in this sporting event. It turns out there's a new world record holder in the small final at the 2022 Steel Timber Sports Trophy event. Matt Kogar came in with a record time of 54.68. More than a dozen elite lumberjack athletes set to compete for a world trophy event in Austria later this month.
It just makes me so nervous because they're rushing.
You think somebody's going to get hurt?
Yes, that's what it looks like. But these are professionals.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that is it for the Night Beat. Don't forget that GMSA starts at 4:30.
Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.